And so those people are going to be the ones that goes into space. Only won't be the other side of the mountain. It'll be the other side of that planet or the other side of that galaxy. There will always be a new frontier.
I hope so. I mean, you're right. Space is the next frontier. I think to a certain extent we just kind of hit a brick wall with it at the moment, especially with NASA being partially cut off.
Right. Well, you've got a lot of private enterprises that are moving to that now, looking at putting their own space stations in space and stuff like that. So it's moving from being supervised by the government to becoming a private entity, where probably in the next 25 or so years, you're going to be able to take a vacation to some space station orbiting the Earth. It's not that far out of reach. We already have a space station up there. I think it holds 6 people, which I'm sure that they'll figure out a way to expand on that. They always do.
Especially if it's be made.
Yeah, and I mean, they pay I think it's $20 million a piece to go up for a period of time. Well, just like cassette tapes and CDs and computers and flat screen TVs, sooner or later the price will go down, and it will become more prevalent for people to do. And whenever it does, then folks like you and me will actually be able to take a vacation doing something like that. But it'll be because somebody expanded those horizons that they looked to the other side of the mountain. They looked to the horizon to see what was going to be next. And I don't think there's any other. I'm trying to think, but I really don't think that there's too many other races that have done the exploration that the Northern Europeans have. They've expanded across the globe long before most people knew how to write. It just seems to be part of our blood. Some people would call it that wanderlust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, I think we got a little off topic, a little bit of a rant there. But
oh yeah, I told you.
I know you did. You did, and I followed right along with you, so it's all good. But
I tell you what, I got number 8 here. Says, how do you feel we can combat the fact that a lot of our traditions and stories have been lost or destroyed?
Well, there you go. Are you asking me, or are you just reading it before you answer?
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been thinking about that. While we've been talking. The fact is that we can't combat what's already been done. What's done is done. What we can do is take what we have and work with it and build on it. Because the fact of the matter is that traditions are made by us every day. It's what we call thews. Okay, something that we, as a person, and then as a kindred or a tribe, begin to start doing. We build our own. We make our own traditions. Every year we have a tradition of having Yule at our house, and every year my wife makes this massive meal. That's a tradition. My mother had the same tradition, just like her mother had that same tradition. I'm sure yours did too.
Yeah.
We make our own traditions. And the fact is that heathenry is built on a specific amount of information and common sense. That's what today's heathenry is. We will never know for a fact what our ancestors thought for sure. We can look at the information we have and we can ascertain certain aspects of it, but we can't guarantee that. But with a little common sense you can take a look at it, and it's pretty basic. It tells you how to live and how to do right by yourself and by your family, and it teaches you what is important to you. We build on that ourselves. It's just like you do, your kindred does a bloat a certain way. Now, my kindred probably does it a little bit different. Now, there are basic aspects of all of them that are exactly the same. And that's because we're going off the same basic information. But we build our own traditions by doing how we feel the gods and goddesses want us to do, what works best for us. And all of us feel that we're doing it the right way. The fact is we are all doing it the right way. We build up ourselves. It's just like I was talking about my grandchildren singing my sagas. I hope that my life is one of those lives that when I'm done, they can look back and say, you know, my great-great-great-grandpa did this, and he did that, and he did this, and he did that. Now, how different is that than the sagas that they tell of Eric the Red or Leif Erikson or some of the others? How different is that than the sagas they tell about them? We build our own traditions, just like they built theirs. It doesn't make ours any better or any worse than theirs, and it doesn't really make it any different. It's just the next generation of.
Okay, so now with that being said, then do you feel it's at all important through more esoteric means to try to find the lost traditions or stories of our gods and goddesses?
Well, you know, I have not spent a lot of time in esoteric. I practice Galder myself. As a general rule, I only do readings for myself, and that's mainly because that's a very personal thing to me. I do not teach it. I feel that there are others that are more capable of that. I'm not sure how much stock I put in most of it, mainly because I don't understand it. But it is something that I think is I don't think it is necessary per se. I think it's more of a personal decision as to whether to use it or not. I don't know whether it can really. I don't know if it can give you more information doing it that way or just using your own common sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on. I get what you're saying.
I don't really deal with it that much, so to me, it has never been an important part of my practice. Does that help you any?
That does. Well, with that being said, then I guess you kind of answered one of my other questions, which was how important do you feel it is for kindred to practice the esoteric nature of acid true?
Actually, I believe it's a personal choice for each one of the members, and if one or more members is drawn to it, I believe that they should take a look at it. Yes. For myself, it's not something that has ever really had to be an important part of my practice because of how I practice.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the difference between if you I guess I hate to kind of put it into Christian terms, but if you, want to be a priest or not, so to speak,
Right.
or if you're just happy, following your path and,
Well, and see, that's something that I've actually been giving a lot of thought to here as of late. Most of my heathen life, I have been a warrior, and I have been a chieftain. And there comes a time in a person's life, though, whenever those things have been important, but it's time to start teaching, to become an elder. And I've had a number of people discuss with me about becoming a Gothi. I wouldn't mind. There's a number of programs that you can take a look at. I'm not, and I can't really say which one would be better or anything like that. And that's not to say that a person can't do it themselves. I just don't really know. I don't know how to go about it, to be quite honest. It's something that I've given a lot of consideration to the last few years, and I've always been interested in it. It just, I didn't really, I felt like there were other things I needed to learn first. I needed to build a better me first, and then try to pay some of the weird guilt that I owed back down over the time. And quite honestly, it's been a really long trip. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm really starting to give it some serious consideration. I'm just, I think I'm kind of particular about who I would like to look at as being a teacher. If you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely. I think that's something, you really have to look at, because when you begin to mingle weird with somebody.
Right. I mean, and I know that there's a lot of programs. Well, not necessarily a lot, but a considerable amount of different programs where a person can get that kind of training. I'm just not sure that. Me personally, I think that it's something that you should do in a kind of a one-on-one situation. I don't think it's something that you can necessarily do over the phone or over the computer or something like that. I think it's something that you really, those kinds of teachings are teachings that where you do mix your weird and where it becomes an integral part of each other. And so I believe that that's something that not only should you know that person, but you should trust that person. And I think that should be a prerequisite for someone to be taught or to teach being a Gothi.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. And I lucked out in the fact that here in Myanmar as well, we have, Kimberly, who's also a writer here on Well by the Tree. She is an excellent teacher, and she's taught me a lot so far. And it's just I really lucked out in the fact of that I found a kindred that has such an experienced person to help me learn that aspect of it.
Right.
But a lot of it too, is also on your own. You can there's only, well, like the old expression, you can lead a horse to water, but I guess in a sense, you have to, you just have to be able to do a lot of it on your own as well, and stuff like that. But it's always good to have somebody to be able to, at times go back to and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or somebody, you can, share ideas with and, cross-reference with. So